We have finally approached the final month of the year, and in today's video, I want to take a look at all of the PlayStation 4 games releasing in December, and going over which ones I think you guys should buy, and which ones you guys are better off waiting for a sale on or outright skipping. Now, I've done this series before, but I want to update you guys and include the fact that I am going to start being very selective with what games I recommend as complete buys. That's because over the last few months, I think all of us have realized that paying $59.99, a full $60 for a game, just doesn't fly with a lot of these titles, especially because you look at games like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Battlefield 5, Fallout 76, these super recent games are hitting the bargain bin so quickly. With a game like Battlefield 5, literally less than a week since it's been released, it's already 50% off. It's just so hard to recommend a game at $59.99 anymore, because it's pretty easy to tell which one of these games are gonna go on sale. So I'm gonna be super selective from now on which games I recommend you guys to buy outright. And a lot of the times, it's gonna be those titles that aren't priced at $59.99. I know a ton of you guys are on a budget, and at this point, I think I'm very aware of predicting what games are gonna go on sale rather quickly, so I want to help you guys out. So with that being said, let's get started, and I do have 3 titles in the buy category, but I'll explain why with each one of them. First up, we have Persona Dancing Collection. That's coming on December 4th, and guess what? I just talked about how I'm gonna be very sparing in recommending games that are $59.99. Well, this collection is actually a full $100, but don't get it twisted. It is a collection. It includes 3 separate games, including Persona 3 Dancing, Persona 4 Dancing, and Persona 5 Dancing. Now, obviously, if these games don't appeal to you, you can skip it outright, but if you are a Persona fan, do remember that these games tend to hold their value. I could see this collection being worth something, and I do believe if you want Persona 4 Dancing on the PlayStation 4, this is the only way to get it. Alternatively, Persona 3 and Persona 5 Dancing are being released at $59.99 a pop, and that absolutely isn't worth it. If you want these games, go ahead and buy the collection, because then you're paying around $33 per game, and as we've seen with Atlas games and just niche titles in general, these are the games that tend to hold their value more so than a lot of the other AAA Western games. So if you're interested in Persona Dancing Collection, it's coming December 4th, and I would put this as a buy, but obviously it's a game that caters towards a subsect of the market. Moving on from that, I do want to put Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales as a buy. You guys might be surprised that there's a new Witcher game releasing in just a few days on December 4th, but it's a little bit different than The Witcher 3. Thronebreaker was actually set to be Gwent the Witcher card game's single-player campaign, however, it kind of evolved into this big experience, and CD Projekt Red decided to release the game as a standalone title. Now, what are you getting here? Something completely different than The Witcher 3, and the game's actually already been released on PC, and it was received very well. Currently, it has an 85 on Metacritic, which is definitely respectable. Not as good as The Witcher 3, but hey, it's coming in at a much cheaper price at just $29.99. That's why I can give it an easy recommendation. But again, the playstyle is going to be a lot different, combining the mechanics of Gwent the Witcher card game and some story-driven elements. They are touting a 30-hour Witcher tale with 20 possible world end states, so there's a lot to this game. Don't think it's just something that's been ripped out of Gwent and they're just trying to make a quick buck. At the end of the day, this is CD Projekt Red, and you know when they're putting something out, it's gonna be of quality, and that's why I can give Thronebreaker an easy recommendation. Again, it's going to be released on December 4th. And lastly, if you're into Japanese RPGs, I would give The Last Remnant Remastered a buy. That's coming on December 6th, and the reason this is going to be a buy is not because The Last Remnant is this incredibly high-quality game. I thought it was a relatively good JRPG with a lot of complex mechanics, an interesting story, and a good premise. However, it looks to be that Square Enix is absolutely getting the pricing of this game down. It's going to be released at just $19.99, a perfect price. We see a lot of remasters these days that are just released at these absurd prices. Look at games like Dragon's Crown Pro that came out at $49.99. It dropped in price rather quickly. Burnout Paradise Remastered, I don't even have to talk about that. $39.99 for that game, come on. The Last Remnant Remastered, Square Enix is getting it right. They're pricing it at $19.99, and it looks to be a pretty good remaster from all the footage we've seen thus far. Last Remnant didn't even ever release on the PlayStation 3, so for PlayStation fans, this is the first time you can check out the game. And again, because of its great pricing at $19.99, easy recommendation for The Last Remnant Remastered. It's coming on December 6th. Now let's move on to the games I would recommend you guys to wait for sale, and 7 of the 10 games are appearing on this portion, and a lot of it comes down to pricing, but some of it are priced accordingly. However, I could see them getting cheaper or actually being a PlayStation Plus title rather quickly, so let's go over those. First up, Subnautica is releasing on December 4th. It's going to be priced at $29.99 by the looks of it, and Subnautica is a great survival game that's been received really well on PC, but it's been out on PC for quite a while, and generally speaking, these survival games do tend to go on sale, and best of all, with Subnautica, there is a a physical release, so if you're good with both pathways, chances are you're going to see deals on the digital version and the physical version, so there's always going to be an opportunity to snag up a good deal. If you're really into survival titles, and if you like that underwater thematic, Subnautica is a great game, and $29.99 might be worth it. It's just I could see it getting cheaper down the line. Again, it's coming on December 4th. Next up, we have Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. That is coming on December 4th as well. Now, this is probably going to be a pretty good title. However, we don't have an exact pricing on the digital version of this game. Based on what I'm seeing, the physical version is going to be released at $39.99, which is a hefty price point for a game like this. I would imagine that the digital version would be released at $24.99 or $29.99, but I haven't seen anything official. Game that, again, is probably going to be pretty good, but given the longevity and the content you're going to get out of the game, I don't think that full price is going to be worth it. Another title I can see go on sale rather quickly. It's coming on December 4th, and again, with this one, there is going to be a physical release, so just like Subnautica, you're going to have that dual pathway. It's going to go on sale digitally, and it might go on sale physically. I just think there's potential on getting this game a bit cheaper, and the pricing to me just seems a little bit out of line. Next one I think is the easiest one to say wait on a sale for, and that is Just Cause 4. It's coming December 4th. Now, I'm a big fan of the Just Cause games. Absolutely love Just Cause 2. Just Cause 3 was good from a fundamental standpoint, but its technical problems really held it back. Just Cause 4, I'm sure, is going to be a pretty good game. However, there are a couple of caveats that you need to know going into the release of this game. First of all, there seems to be very little anticipation heading into the release of Just Cause 4. I don't see it doing all too well from a commercial standpoint, and probably the bigger factor is that this is a Square Enix published title, and it's a Square Enix published Western title. Their Japanese titles sometimes hold up in value, but Square Enix's Western games, they have been going on sale so quickly, especially if they don't do that good from a commercial standpoint. Look at what happened with Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That game only released back in September, and it's readily available south of $30. That's insane. And with Just Cause 4, even if it's a good game, if it doesn't meet expectations from a commercial standpoint, I could very well see this game being in that $29.99 range within 2 to 3 months. That's why, unless you are the most avid of Just Cause fans, this is one that is so easy to say wait on a sale for, because I do foresee that sale coming very quickly. Next up, and this is one that I'll say wait on a sale for, or possibly even wait until it's a PlayStation Plus title, and I'll explain why, and that is PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. A massive game is coming to the PS4 with PUBG coming on December 7th, and you might be thinking, this is a game that's going to retain its value, this is a game that everyone's going to buy. I necessarily don't think so. I really think PUBG has peaked and it's on the downhill slide. Just look at what happened with PUBG on the Xbox One. It recently got added to Game Pass, so I don't think it's all too much of a far cry that, yes, it'll be released at $29.99. Some people will check it out, but I could see within 6 months that this game is either a PlayStation Plus title or it's going on sale pretty regularly. I don't know how the commercial reception is going to be for this game on the PlayStation 4. I don't think it's going to be all too great, and this is a game that lives and dies by the community. You need a strong community attached to it, and I don't think it's going to be a plus game from the get-go, but I would think that PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds would be a great game to add as a PlayStation Plus title to really jumpstart that community. It's not going to happen from the get-go. We'll see how the sales go when it's released on December 7th. It is coming at $29.99. Look, if you're an avid fan of Battle Royale, if you really want PUBG on the PlayStation 4, could foresee some technical issues right out the gate, so at the end of the day, this is probably one that's best waiting out for on that end alone. But hey, if you're super eager to get PUBG on the PS4, I could see why some people would check it out for $29.99. I personally think that you're best on waiting for this game sometime down the line. Again, I could see it being a plus game. Next up is a game of a franchise that I'm really fond of, but this is one where pricing kills it, and it's Earth Defense Force 5. It's coming December 11th, and it's being priced at a full $59.99. It's already available on the PlayStation Store to pre-order. Look, I love Earth Defense Force. I think it's one of the most pure, fun third-person shooters, but there just comes a time where you have to assess the games that are worth $59.99 and the quality caliber that's expected of games that are priced that high. Earth Defense Force, as great of a game it is, I just don't see it having the depth to warrant that $59.99 price point. If it was $39.99, okay, you've got me on board, maybe I would recommend it, but at a full $59.99, just think about all of the games you could get for a full $60. I know you guys haven't checked out a bunch of the games that have come out in the last 3 months, and with those games going on sale readily, with $60, you could probably pick up 2 of those instead of Earth Defense Force 5, and I've seen the EDF titles go on sale on the PlayStation Store before, so you might say there's a contrast between me saying, hey, buy the Persona Dancing Collection at $99.99, are those games really worth it? But again, you're getting 3 titles. If you divvy it up that way, you're paying $33 a pop, being the only way to get Persona 4 Dance. With Earth Defense Force 5, it's a full $59.99 price point for one game. As good as the EDF titles are and as fun as they are, again, I would say hold off for a better price at that. At the very least, $39.99 is an acceptable price point for that game. $59.99 is just a bit too much. Next up, another game that I'm personally interested in, but the pricing kills it. Borderlands 2 VR is coming on December 14th, and it's coming at a $49.99 price point. Now, I know the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim VR was priced at $59.99, so I think they just think think they could get away with this. I didn't like Skyrim VR being at $60. I don't like Borderlands 2 VR being at $50, especially with this being a digital-only release. Borderlands 2 was released all the way back in 2012, and yes, while VR is gonna add a new layer of an experience, the Borderlands Handsome Collection is readily available for like $15, and you get Borderlands 2, all of the DLC, Borderlands the pre-sequel, the DLC with that, 2 games and a bunch of DLC. With this, you do get the Borderlands 2 DLC, but it's 1 game and it's $49.99. For this, hold on until a PlayStation Store sale. Maybe we'll see like a 50% price drop. For $24.99, Borderlands 2 VR would be at a much more palatable price point. For $49.99, I think the majority of you guys would be in agreement with me, just a little bit on the pricey side. And lastly, the final game was actually in the border of being a buy and a wait for sale. I decided to put it on the wait for sale, and that is Warhammer 2 Vermintide. That's coming on December 18th. Now, Warhammer Vermintide 2 is another game that hit Xbox Game Pass right away as soon as it was released, and it was first released on PC, but it went on sale rather quickly, so I do foresee this game going on sale rather quickly on the PlayStation 4 as well. Being it is on Game Pass as well, I could see Warhammer Vermintide 2 being a PlayStation Plus title in the future. We've seen correlations with that before. Onrush is on Game Pass, and now we see that Onrush is going to be a PlayStation Plus title. That's where I'm coming at you guys from that standpoint when I look at the Game Pass titles and how that could be a harbinger of games to come on PlayStation Plus. Not 100% guaranteed, but the possibility is there, so if you drop $29.99 on it from the get-go and then it does turn out to be a Plus title in like 6 months. However, if you do want an excellent cooperative experience, Warhammer Vermintide 2 is gonna absolutely have you covered. But being a cooperative focused experience, that means you might also have to sell your friends on it, and at a full $29.99 might be a little bit of a hard sell to your friends. If it's available down the line for say $14.99, or better yet, it is a PlayStation Plus title, meaning that all your buddies are just gonna get the game anyway, at that point, that would be a great time to check out Warhammer Vermintide 2. At the moment, unless you got a couple of friends picking up the game and you all want to jump in it together, I would say stay away from now, but do add it on your wish list because it is a great game. Again, it's coming on December 18th. So that's going to conclude this video, guys. Again, I'm going to be a lot more harsh with which games I recommend, which games I tell you guys to skip. I think a lot of you guys will be surprised that I put a game like Just Cause 4 in the wait for sale category, but again, being a Square Enix published title, I think there's like a 95% chance that game's $29.99 by, say, March. So yeah, I hope you guys can see where I'm coming from. I hope I can help you guys save some money, but let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.